The views and opinions expressed on From the Mouths of Madness are that of the panel and not of the Geeks Under the Influence Network or their sponsors, Amazon.com and tpublic.com. Listeners, beware. Coming straight from the Mouths of Madness, I'm one of the hosts, Lowdown. With me, as always, is...
F you honor. What's up, you fresh flesh-eating bitches?
You happy Hannibal wannabe motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. That shit. I gotta say, though...
What's the market price?
This movie surprised me with the level of comedy. And maybe it was not... Maybe some of it wasn't intended.
Yeah.
Either. But there's a lot of funny shit in this film. Yeah. Yeah. And well, I'm the main actor acting this character being one of them. So tonight on the Chopping Block, we're going to talk about, I believe it's 2022.
Yeah. I think it came out this year.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least it's streamed this year. Maybe it came out limited somewhere, but...
Somewhere, yeah. Yeah. We'll correct it in the release notes if it's not 2022. 2022's fresh. Now, it is a Hulu original, so I don't think it would have come out somewhere else.
That's
It's a Hulu
true.
original film, so... Yeah, it's the only actor of note that I know of is Sebastian Stan.
There's only like 5 actors in this entire movie, so...
That is true. Yes.
But man, I'm going to throw it out there real quick, man. Sebastian Stan kind of impressed me recently.
Yeah.
That's the same motherfucker that's in that Pam and Tommy. Does a pretty good Tommy Lee.
He does, but I gotta make some statements about that show real quick. It's fucking, those tattoos are goddamn atrocious. There's terrible fake tattoo job.
No, those are pretty accurate because that's how atrocious those tribal tattoos.
I went back and watched some interviews with Tommy Lee, and they don't actually match up to Tommy Lee's tattoos.
I guess when it gets to that amount of tribal, I think
I noticed a lot more color in his actual arm versus what's on the show. Now it could have been because it's the '90s and it wasn't filled in yet.
That's true.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that Sebastian Stan is in no way the size of Tommy Lee. As far as height and stuff.
But I'm talking about the mannerisms and
mannerisms.
Things like that. Like, he's been a couple things besides Winter Soldier related. That actually impressed me. Like, he was the boyfriend in I, Tonya.
Mm-hmm.
Had the mustache, played a dirtbag, did a really good job.
Did a really good job,
So, him in this, I was already kind of like, all right, let's see what you got. And I thought he did a great fucking job.
Yeah, I thought he crushed it because, like, he played it so well up to the point. And that, dude, was that the longest wait for a title? I feel like it was longer than the Friday 13th remake.
Yeah.
Like, it was so fucking long.
We're what, like 20 minutes in?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, shit, here's the title.
Yeah.
But I like how they worked it in with the way they set up everything.
Yeah.
So, like, I completely forgot that they hadn't shown me the title till the title came on.
Yeah. Well, because at a certain point with films, you expect you're not going to get it until the very end, right?
Yeah.
The movie ends, you get the film title, which that happens too, right? But to have an actual title pop up.
The only one I can think of recently that happened was the fucking shitty-ass remake of Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
You never got to the very end, you're like, what are you watching? Oh yeah, Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they should just even left that off there. Anyhow, let's get back to the current movie we're watching. We're talking about.
So, but yeah, so it's chick who's just basically had enough with dating.
Oh, well, they show you as one of her, I guess, Tinder dates, whatever, and the dude talks about how he really appreciates when girls dress up.
And she's not.
She's wearing casual, but he's like, you know, back in the day, whenever you went out somewhere, always dress up. I mean, like, he's like, look what you're wearing. That's not bad, but it could be. And it's like, oh, dude, stop. You're like, stop talking, man. And the minute he starts criticizing in a very friendly, like, I'm just giving you friendly advice kind of thing. Like, she's already like, all right, fuck this. And then literally he's like, all right, so we're splitting this, right? We're splitting the tab.
Oh, do you want the leftovers?
You want the leftovers?
Oh my God.
I know. Do you mind paying the tip? And you're like, dude, you're never... And literally brings up, like, what? Do this again? She's like, no.
And dude, right off the bat, when they sat down, maybe she was still in it for like a free, like, okay, well, maybe I'll at least get a meal out of it. But that fucking scarf.
Yeah.
That fucking scarf, dude. I wanted to choke him with it.
Yeah. And then he's talking about people's style. You're like, do you not know you're fucking wearing a scarf and it's not scarf weather? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, it was. But you get an idea, like, okay, she's been on enough of these dates. She is burnt the fuck out. She talks to her friend, like another one of those fucking awful dates. So she's almost kind of given up. Like she's just not. She's almost like she's not gonna try anymore. And then she's randomly in the grocery store, and
there and walks Sebastian Stan, and they have that whole little, they flirt, yada yada yada, and he
tells her to
off
try that they make the grapes that now are cotton candy flavored.
That's right. Yeah.
So
he's got so he's got his he flirts, and he like stumbles intentionally. You find out later, of course, this was his whole setup. He's a master at doing this shit, and of course, it ensues, and like you see like a lot of them actually just having really like raw, like goofy, uninhibited, like that get up and just randomly dance, shit like that. Like they're like.
It's not forced.
Exactly.
Like they're having this back and forth that like seems genuine, and he's not forceful at all. He's just like, it'd be kind of cool if we go out sometime. And she's like, yeah. And they go out and they have like an amazing date, and they end up fucking, and and everything starts to develop, but it's not like forced. And so she
and he never comes off as creepy.
Yeah, and she starts to really trust him, and she literally takes the next morning after they had sex, she takes a photo of him sleeping, and you can kind of build up. They're moving very fast, but it doesn't scream like there's something sketchy here.
It's not like hit the brakes,
which I really appreciate, because you expect it with a movie that we're going with this, when you know the premise of it, that it's going to seem kind of forced. But he almost plays it where. Almost like, well, I can back off if you want. I can back off. I don't want to go too fast. And she's like, no. Like, she's trusting him. And it's almost because he's not being forceful.
Exactly.
And so he comes up with this whole thing where he's like, hey, I'm supposed to go out of town. I don't know, would there be something that you would be interested in? I was going to go, this nice resort in the, cabin in the woods.
But then they were going to stop at his place on the way.
Yeah.
Stop at his place first. And
when he brings it up, he's like, but if you don't want to do that, I had already booked it. And so she's just like, you know what? I've been on enough dates. And she feels I can trust you. And so that's the whole setup. And then, she tells her friend, hey, I'm going on this, for the weekend. Then his setup is, well, hold on, before we go, I forgot, and you stop by my house. On the way, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's where
it happens, and and again, it's just like it pretty much sets right in. They sit down, that's I don't remember if beforehand it came out what he did, but when she said,
I think he brought it that he was
he's
a doctor.
Yeah.
So to
she
her,
sees the house,
he's handsome. They gel together. He's a fucking doctor. He makes bank.
But even when she sees the house, she's like, wait, this is like wow, like okay, and then.
You mean the house that's huge and out in the middle of fucking nowhere?
Exactly, yeah.
Where there is no cell phone coverage. God damn it.
Yeah. And then he makes her drink, and then she wakes up chained in a room.
Well, it's kind of fucked up because he's talking to her, and he knows he's drugged her. And I love that it goes from her point of view. So he's talking to her, and he's just like, and then blah, blah, blah. And he's almost talking about boring shit. And he can see her. She's nodding off. He's like, are you okay? Here, you should come over. Here, sit over next to me. Like, come on, stand up. And then she stands up, 2 steps, flop.
And then
And it's fucked up because Yeah, and that's when the title comes on. But he knows he drugged her. I was like, you should try to get him a walk right now. It'd be really fucking funny.
And then, then we really see him, like, the whole time, the rest of this film, he's fucking, like, insane. Like...
Well, that's the thing. She wakes up, and then you're like, okay, where are we going with this? Because we've seen enough movies of the chick get drugged, and she wakes up, and she's in her own kind of room, cell.
Toilet and a sink, and it's weird. You notice the bed is, like, flush, like he made it recessed? I guess so. There's no way. I don't really or anything to pick up and throw.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it's very minimalistic.
Yeah.
Like, it's a room, but it's a cell. But she's chained to the wall.
I mean, it's a sick setup. Like, he's got these like passcode, like, card readers to open and close the door. It's not a key. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not like an actual lock, and they're not like solid doors. They're like those offset lattice doors. So it's like really heavy wood. Remember, like the panels are offset so you can kind of see out, because she
Yeah.
can see whenever he's grabbing another girl and walking down the hallway with her, but she can't really see. She can just kind of see
Enough, yeah.
Yeah, just to like
see motion.
exactly,
happening.
and
But what's
screaming
great
and fighting.
is as she
Yeah.
wakes up, she's like, "Oh my God, what are you gonna do?" And he's still very calm. He's like, "Hey, calm down, calm down." And she's like, "Are you gonna just kill me? Are you gonna kill me?" He's like, "Well, no. I'm gonna take parts off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you will die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you will be killed, but not all at one time." He's like, "There's gonna be just parts taken away from you." And you're like, what the fuck? And then you come to find out,
Dude,
she's not alone, and she talks. She can hear somebody in the room next
she's
to
talking.
her.
Yeah, she's talking to that person.
And
yeah,
this
it's
is
just-
his whole
oh.
setup is he tricks women, captures them, and then cuts body parts off to sell on the black market for people.
Now he will kill them, but he says he gets more money if they're alive.
Yeah,
And dude, there's this whole scene where
because
it
he
shows
wants
him.
it keeps it fresh.
Keeps it fresh,
Yeah.
exactly. And he goes through there's this whole montage of him like risky businessing into the kitchen,
Oh,
dancing and pulling out this
Oh.
giant freezer. He's pulling out body parts and fucking filling the box with like panties and
It gets
a
very
picture.
American Psycho
fucking-
for a minute.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's the 80s music.
Yeah.
He's dancing around. You can tell he loves what he's doing.
Oh, he enjoys the shit out of it. Like, and he's like, yeah, I spice up the box. I'll fill it with like panties that I say are from the girl and a picture and like, some other scented stuff and
Yeah.
like so it's this whole setup that he packages with me. But you realize he's got like literally a restaurant size walk-in freezer that's got like whole torsos.
Yeah.
And oh my god, dude.
And then he has somebody that shows up once a week to pick up the packages that
Mm-hmm.
he packages, and you see that it's sent to all these rich ass motherfuckers that the hardest meat to get is that of
human.
Yeah.
Because it's murder, at least in America. They could have went to another country
Yeah.
if they really wanted it. Like they could have just like literally flown to
But
another
I think
country.
it's not just that he has a whole setup. He doesn't get caught. It's like set up like this, like just the very high grade, very, like I said, market price, whatever. This way is handled. So, and he's a doctor, so he knows what he's doing, what he's cutting off, how to pretty much not ruin the meat.
Really, the high points. She at one point she's like, I gotta use the bathroom. So he lets her out, and of course she tries to escape.
Yeah.
And then he slams her, knocks her out, and then she wakes up stomach down.
Oh,
And
man.
because she lied to him and he couldn't trust her, it's like, well, I gotta take something from you. So he literally cut off her ass.
Yep.
Now, I will say she didn't have an ass to begin with, but
Now
the
she
clothing,
really-
but the clothing that she wore later throughout the rest of the movie, she definitely had cheeks.
Oh, really?
Like if you look, like I was looking for that shit, dude.
The way I looked at that, because I also was, but I mean, it's still, we're talking about padding and stuff like that. I mean, like, he's gauzed her up enough that, yeah.
Well, that's true.
It looks like she's got a little bump.
Remember,
But
she couldn't sit down to pee. She couldn't
Yeah.
sleep on her ass. But he literally took her ass. Oh my god!
now
that was
her
hilarious.
friend starts getting suspicious because he's using a phone to send her friend messages like, having a great time, in the shot of a waterfall. But her friend is already like, because they have this interaction where she's like, love you, and her friend says like, some kind of coded love you too, but in like a weird way. So on the text, when she says love you, and the other person, not her friend,
Yeah.
says love you too, and it's like, no. She finds out that shot of the waterfall was pulled from
The internet.
Yeah, from the internet. And so she starts investigating. This is where it gets a little interesting.
Yeah, finds the dude has a fucking house.
Remember, our main chick took a photo of him and had sent it to her friend. So she has at least something, figures out, oh shit, this dude that she finally finds out on Facebook or whatever, matches that, goes to the house, and
and she goes
it's not the
in
house
the
we
picture
know.
on Facebook, it showed him with a wife and kid.
Yep.
It's 2 kids. And then so she goes to the house, sees the same woman from the picture, goes in the house and is like, "Hey, I don't know how to tell you this. I know you don't know me, but I think your husband's cheating on you
Yeah.
with my friend." And she's like, "What? no, whatever. Anyway, so can you come in? Like, at first you're like, okay, the wife doesn't know. So
Yeah.
she's going to go in, she's going to find out, blah, blah.
And she reacts in a way of like, what are you talking about?
And then like, in walks Sebastian Stan right about the time that the wife told the girl to leave, the friend to leave, and the wife says like, hey, you know, well, she thinks you kidnapped her friend and this and that. And like, basically,
her friend,
basically,
Noah, is it was it Noah or what's her friend's name?
I don't know. Basically,
say Noel.
As Sebastian Stan's showing her out the door, right when he gets her, he turns around and is like, you really shouldn't have come here.
Oh, no.
And then the wife hits her on the back of the head and knocks her out.
Noel's friend calls her cell phone.
That's right.
And
That's what it
he
was.
has her
It was the
cell phone in
cell
his
phone.
pocket, so he hears the ring.
Like,
and that's when he turns around and goes, you really shouldn't have come here.
And the wife, clunk. So
Yep.
the wife's in on it.
So, yeah.
Now, moving forward with that, they really focus on the next scene of like his daily life now that you know the wife knows about it. And like, he's going for a run one morning, and then when he goes back to the house, he literally pulls out a human like roast of something like a leg.
Yeah.
And he slices some layers off of it. Later on, you find out that his wife is missing a leg. So my question with that is his wife
The first.
a 1.8 victim that tricked him? Because as the movie goes on and when he's dying, she doesn't give a fuck. But she wants to keep the money going.
Yeah.
And she also knows she's an accomplice.
And maybe that's what it is they never explain it, but that he got his first taste, and before he went through with it all, she convinced him, hold on, let's work as a team here.
Yeah. Or was it that that was the first victim that then she knew in order for her to stay alive, she had to kind of do this?
Possibly, but I mean,
Because that's kind of how it's going.
I think she could get away.
That's kind of how it's
he's not
going.
in the house long enough. I mean, they had 2 kids, so I feel like she might have
But now
worked
she's an accomplice because she knows about it.
Right. But I think she's always known about it.
Yeah, because I was going to say now, as it moves along with our current character and how basically what she ends up having to do is she has to end up playing into him because the girl next door said that, hey, play along. He likes you. Did he give you magazines? Remember, she got the magazines.
Yeah.
So like he's treating her differently than other girls.
Yeah. And
so the other girl tells her to play along with it. So as the movie goes along, she's playing along with it to the point where she's eating.
Yeah.
He's
and
making her the food.
Is that she figures out a way to get in his head.
Yeah.
Instead of the other way around, we're usually, after a while, kind of a Stockholm syndrome thing happens.
That's what I'm wondering if that's the wife did.
Opposite.
That's what I'm wondering if the wife was doing.
Yeah, but this is the opposite because our main chick Noelle, she starts, what does it taste like? And and he sees something he hasn't seen with all his other victims, which is curiosity.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
he already had a connection because remember she brings up like I slept with him, and the girl in the other room says, "You all slept together?" Like,
well, when she asked him, he said that was a mistake.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, that's why I'm thinking that maybe the wife did that too. She played into him.
Yeah.
Initially.
There has to be something unique to get in his head.
Exactly.
It doesn't make them just meet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. That the wife had to obviously have that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like he would have kept eating her.
Yeah.
But like I said, at the end of the film, she gave 0 fucks that he was dying.
Well, and she's with the main guy that comes to pick up the meat.
Yeah.
Almost as if she's in charge of the business in a way.
Yeah. So she's.
But yeah,
Noelle plays into his fantasy and like has interest and because remember early on he's basically has a feeling that she's like him in some way and she just plays into it.
And she plays into it. She's like he's like there's just something about you that you see through all the bullshit. You see how people actually are.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't raised a way of doing this and she's like, well, yeah, that's and like. She feeds into that, so there's
she
more
starts
trust.
smart though. Like, remember when she first asked, "What's it taste like?" When she's just looking, she's like doing something with herself in the mirror in her prison cell room, and he's like I can't put into words, but imagine the most exquisite blah blah blah. It's a million times better than that. And she was like, "Huh," and it pissed him off because he was like, "Huh," and like stormed out.
Yeah.
So she played with him at first with it, and then started showing the interest.
But she gets to the point where he does invite her to try this, and he's like, "Can I just?" She's like, "What was the name of what we're eating?" And he goes, "Her name was Hope." And she's like, "Well, that's amazing. That's the perfect name for the meal."
And then he went to say that this is a $30,000 meal. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And it was like 6 meatballs.
Yeah.
It was like 6 meatballs. But yeah, she goes through like 3 or 4 meals to the point where he's got her a dress and like they're like it's like like he's setting up a romantic date. He's skipping hanging out with his wife to spend time with her. Like remember he locks his phone in a drawer and his ring and all this stuff. Like she's really
worked him so much
that he's like
and to the point where when they're sitting to eat dinner, she asks again, "What's the name of this person?" And like I think it was Melanie or something like that. She's like, "That's a boring name for a meal," and they're having a laugh.
Yeah,
and like to him, it's like, "Oh my god." Yeah. Like someone that gets it, like this chick's name was so boring that the meal is better than her actual name was.
Yeah, like eating her is more enjoyable than her name.
Yeah.
Like her existence apparently, you know.
But yeah,
and
that's where
so
at
that point there's the trust because she even points it out so make him know that she realizes you haven't handcuffed me the last couple times. Remember, because the first few times he handcuffed her at the table. Yeah. And she pointed out, you haven't handcuffed me for a couple times. And then she asked him a dance. So they go through a dance, which they did that on their like first or second date. You could almost
say she's playing the way he did to her at the beginning.
Yes.
Where it's so casual. And she's like, you forgot to put handcuffs on me.
Yeah.
And it's like, instead of him discovering it, she just like, look how much you can trust me. You didn't even put handcuffs on me, and I'm telling you about it.
So after the dance, they start making out and carry him, and, they make it back to the bedroom, and he is just so trusting of this, completely realizing that he manipulated.
She's it. Tim.
Yeah. He just completely forgot about the fact of everything he did to her, right? And she starts to go down on him, and she went to the bathroom first, right? Well, you don't realize what she did in the bathroom. She grabbed toothpaste.
Yeah.
And she's going down on him. She's squeezing some in her hand, and then she fucking chomps down on his fucking dick.
She gets a little bite.
When he screams and reaches up, she shoves toothpaste in his eyes and books it. Now, like, dude, that has every time.
Did she bite it off? Did she bite it off?
They don't say.
Because there's a lot of blood.
There's a lot of blood.
And I don't remember if she spits out anything, but she chomps down on it.
I feel like if he bit it off, he would have bled out sooner than he actually got killed.
That is true.
Because, I mean, they had a whole fight in the kitchen. Because all right, so at that point she goes and she knows he had kidnapped her friend, obviously. So Noelle goes and gets her, and then gets the other girl who at this point is missing a leg and an arm.
Yeah.
The girl she's been talking to the whole time, and they're trying to get out of the house. Well, he's made it out of the room, and there's this huge fight between the three of them. Which I like how realistic it was. These movies where like it's one chick going against a dude and like who's clearly a psychopath and is much like you're tapping into a level of strength that the girl even if it's another guy is probably not going to be tapping into because he's just going with fight or flight. She's going with fight or flight. He is a fucking nut job. Like it's been proven time and time again. Like psychopaths can tap into.
Well, not only that, but you're talking about 3 injured. Traumatized women that are trying to defend themselves.
Exactly.
But they've also are missing body parts.
Yeah.
Been drugged.
Yeah.
Been, just like everything possible. So they are all pretty weak. Like
and they're going after him.
Physically weak, having to defend themselves. So, but they're still getting. Oh no,
they're fucking went hard. They got the fucking meat tenderizer.
Oh yeah,
to the fucking dome, bro. Dude, that shit his face looked fucked.
Yeah, they fucked him up.
So,
but he's like you said, he's psycho. So I mean, he keeps going out. I mean, like again, we don't know how much of his penis is left. I mean,
no.
But whatever's going on with that, he's still attacking with full strength. Even now, getting hit with the meat cleaver. I think he got stabbed. Face into the fucking counter a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets fucked up.
Yes.
He fucks them up too, but he gets pretty fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so between the 3 of them, how fucked up he got, even though they are injured, it was more believable as far as like the female taking control.
Yeah.
And not being, now moving from the victim to the victor kind of thing. You know, where like some roles, like I Spit on Your Grave, it's like one woman against like, was it 4 dudes? 3 dudes?
Yeah.
Like, even though she separated like the first one, I think that she kind of went after him one by one. Still, it's like this was just way more believable for me, and it didn't take me out of the movie and anything. It would have me like, no, fucking get his ass, fuck that son of a bitch. Like, and when all 3 of them were attacking him in that scene, it was just so awesome. And then like they run out, and he's barely following them. He's got a gun now at this point, and the end of the movie they end up getting the gun and they shoot him. That's basically what happens.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing is they end up shooting him, killing him, shoot him in the head. So there is no question. I'll scream. Got to make sure. But then his wife pulls up with the guy that's there to pick up the inventory of the packages, and I can't remember what happens to him, but the wife finds our main chick and pretty much jumps on her and just starts choking the fuck out of her. And it's like,
Well, she sees her husband dead first.
Yeah, she sees her husband dead.
Doesn't give a shit.
And doesn't give a shit except for, you just cost, this was our main way of making money.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking cost us that. So it's not a, like, I'm avenging my husband. It's you cut off my fucking, like, my
bloodline,
sword.
yeah. Oh, I think she sent him in to start cleaning up.
Yeah, okay.
I think she sent him into the house to start cleaning up because it was a fucking mess, right?
Yeah.
I believe that's what happened. But yeah, so...
That's right, because she also discovers his phone
everything
in the drawer with her calling it like 30 times and his wedding ring. So there's enough there that she's like, oh, you were a piece of shit. So she's pissed off about that. But in the same instance, like, she goes after Noelle, and then Noelle pulls out that fucking knife and, like, because it looks like, you think for a second the wife's going to win. It's going to choke the shit out of her. But pulls out that knife and just slash her throat?
It was the throat. Yeah.
Yep. So
yeah, it was fucking great. Now, I don't remember, was there anything after that? You watched it more recent than me.
Not really. That's about it, is that they get
I watched it almost a month ago.
And they pretty much, they find the bartender, which we didn't really bring up, who was kind of he was kind of the connecting piece, because the bar that Noelle and our main doctor...
they went on a date there, and that's he served one little part, and everything else after that was like useless, basically.
Right.
It was just showing him...
Except for there was somebody for her best friend to relay information. Oh shit, I found the guy, he lives at this house, he has a wife.
But then he goes there and he's like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
So at that point, I feel like he was there for comic relief, because he didn't do anything.
Kind of.
No. When they ran out of the woods, they got in his car.
That's right.
That's what it was.
Okay.
So, that was his usefulness. He used the getaway driver.
Accidentally was there.
Because remember, he left the house and was going down the road, and that's the car they jumped in to get away. That's what it was.
But I
enjoyed this movie.
I wasn't sure. I thought, okay, it looks like it might be generic, but I thought after a while, the way it was set up, I thought Sebastian's performance was fucking great.
Well,
a very much Bateman, American Psycho kind of style to it. But then again, the kind of reverse Stockholm Syndrome, I thought was great. And fuck, man, when she bites down,
dude,
I was like, holy fuck.
No, God, no. It's fucking terrible. No, I enjoyed that film. You're right. I did get some Patrick Bateman, but like I said, I definitely get a sense of Hannibal just from the level of...
I think Bateman just because of how much he enjoyed what he was doing.
How much enjoyed what he was doing. I was saying my sense of the Hannibal, and I mean more like the Hannibal from the show, because you got more of his enjoyment of eating.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Like
how it's a delicatessen.
Exactly.
Like
you don't really get that.
No, only one meat in the world is this expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't get that in the three main movies because he's locked up, right? I mean, you get a little bit at the end of the third movie, which is the pretty weak movie.
Ray Liotta eat his own
That was
brain.
so fucking terrible. Yeah. But like the whole show, you see him like feeding the people he's captured like dates and acorns and figs to sweeten the meat. You see him take off pieces at a time. So if anybody's watched the show Hannibal, it's very reminiscent of that, because he's been taking pieces of these women, not just killing them at once. That's what Hannibal does in the show. Yeah. So that's why it's like very like the eccentric and the excitement is Bateman, because Hannibal never gets that way. He's very controlled, very, very composed. Bateman not so much.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's a good combination of the two. So, and I do recommend anybody, if they have not watched the series Hannibal, fucking watch it. It's some dark shit. And I can't believe that they got away with that shit on NBC, because that is fucking graphic. Holy shit.
Yeah, I need to go back and I
started watching it. Was all on Netflix at one point. That's where I watched it.
I think it's still on there.
Yeah, I think it moved to Hulu actually now.
Oh.
I think.
Well, that makes sense with this movie.
So, hit us up at lowdownbrown.gui@gmail.com if you have seen it, or if you watched it after you listened to this because you sparked your interest. Let us know what you think. We want your fucking feedback, please. And as always, go to GUIPodcast.com. Check out all the shows under the network. There is something for everybody. A bunch of great, amazing fucking content across the board. And while you're on GUIPodcast.com, also check out the links tab. And the first link is Amazon.com. You click on that link. It takes you to Amazon. All you got to do is log in and shop like normal. We just get a little kickback, and that's fucking great. We love that. Please.
We appreciate it.
Awesome. We greatly appreciate it.
You're going to go on Amazon anyway. There's always going to be
Amazon.
something you want.
Everyone uses Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, it means like, oh, I need to get this. What are you going to wait to go to the store to look for it, or are you going to just pull out your phone and look at Amazon?
Yeah, just do that.
That's what you do. Anyway, next to the Amazon link is our link to TeePublic, which is TeePublic is the merch store for GUI. That's where all the designs are for every show and multiple designs across the board for shows.
We've got 2 designs.
Yeah, we've got the OG design, and then we've got our Weapons of Madness design. Really fun. The Weapons of Madness is really fun. The OG design is just, that's what we've had since the original. So
yeah, you can get that made on a pillow. Snuggle up with us each night.
There you go. Snuggle up with the Madness boys. I like it. And you can get it on everything. Like you said, pillows, banners, totes, shirts, bunch of shit. So make sure to check that out. And until we talk to you again, embrace the madness.
Join us at GUIPodcast.com.
Mike the Hobbit here,
Lowdown Brown,
inviting you to check out Geeks Under the Influence, a podcast that pairs booze with conversation with good friends.
and a little nerd culture.
We get a lot of colorful conversation out of our episodes, but it is here for everyone, no gatekeeping.
Always level up everything we do.
We'll punch up, never punch down.
Exactly.
So check out Geeks Under the Influence everywhere you get your podcasts and join us or die.
Shut the fuck up, Hobbit. Welcome to GUI Nights.
GUI Nights.
Yeah, I am Lowdown Brown. With me as always,
Mike the Hobbit.
this is the tangential side of GUI.
This is like so many of those other shows that has the after the show bit mixed with a little bit of Baywatch night, so it's a little sexier. It's a little bit after hours.
Also while tying it into the previous episode of GUI. So look forward to that too, because this comes out the week after the flagship hour-long episode.
So make sure to check out GUI Nights, and when you're done, you can
Go the fuck home.
Hey guys, Scotty P here with Smash on your left. And we are the Geek Fathers. That's right, bringing all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent.
So welcome to our world.
And as always, join us
Or cry.
In a world with too many reboots and remakes,
Two men will stop at nothing to make it even worse.
join Mike the Hobbit and Tandy as they play by their own rules while pitching new takes on some of your favorite and least favorite films and TV shows. What podcast would dare to bring this upon the world?
This is Smack My Pitch Up.
Coming straight from the mouths of madness, I'm Lowdown.
I'm FU Hunter.
Do you love horror?
We fucking do.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things in cinematic horror. We're talking movies, television, composers, special effects artists. We're gonna fucking cover it.
So if you love horror,
Embrace the madness.
My name is Amy Bogard,
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
and we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com.
In a world of blockbuster movies, there's another dimension.
The dimension of schlock cinema. Join us at Beautiful Disasters on a journey into the fringe territory of B-movie abandon.
We review the flicks that are forgotten or underappreciated to give them a proper place in the annals of celluloid history.
I'm the Groots,
F.U. Hunter.
your guides at Beautiful Disasters. Come along with us for a fun ride. May the schlock be with you.